Hello beautiful booktubers, I'm Becky Bookworm and I'm finally here with my April wrap up. My work timetable has recently changed, so I've lost the bit of time that I had for filming during the week, so that's why my videos aren't very often at the moment. I'm just still trying to figure out how I can fit everything in, but I'm here and here is my wrap up. In the month of April I read 4 graphic novels and 4 books, and I'm going to quickly run through them all so we can have a quick chat about them. First one is Low Volume 1 by Rick Remender, I think it is. This is the story of humans have had to vacate the surface of the Earth because of the levels of radiation, and it flashes forward into years in the future when they found other planets to live on. They also live below the sea level. And this family, who are a happy family, everything's great, and they take the kids out on a bit of an excursion to see if they can find some things. I can't remember what it is they're trying to find. Maybe somewhere else safe to live, I'm not sure. But they get attacked, half of the family get kidnapped and are presumed dead, and the other half have to carry on with their life. So it's the mum and the son that are left. The mum is very positive, she believes that they're alive and she wants to try and find them, and she tries to devote her life to that. The son goes off the rails, becomes a dodgy cop with a substance and sex abuse problem, and she is trying to figure out, she's trying to convince him that they are still alive and they should go find them. She eventually does convince him and off they go. So this is really good. I actually gave this 4 out of 5. For a volume 1 it was really good. It set the scene, the graphics are absolutely beautiful. I mean, you can probably tell from the front cover. You can see, I don't want to accidentally show you any spoilers, but there's really good bits when they're like under the sea. Yeah, I'll just show you those. But there's really good graphics of when they're under the sea and when they go to all these planets and everything is like really red or really green, and it's just really beautiful. I did think there was quite a lot of that they put in there that I didn't think they needed to put in there, but again, I did enjoy it. The graphics are beautiful and the story's engaging, so I'll probably get volume 2 and see where that story goes. Next up we have the amazing Saga Volume 7. I have been waiting so long for this. If you've watched any of my other videos, you will know I'm obsessed with Saga. It's the best graphic novel I've ever read. The storyline's compelling, the characters are amazing, it's diverse, themes that it tackles are realistic and relatable. It's just absolutely brilliant. And this is by Brian K. Vaughan, and like I said, it is volume 7, so quite a lot has happened. I can't really tell you too much about this because I don't want to spoil the earlier volumes. The overarching story is that a couple who get together who are from opposite warring sides in this intergalactic war, they fall in love, they have a kid. That kid is viewed as an abomination, and loads of different people from mercenaries to governments are out to capture and kill the child because it shouldn't be allowed. And they go on the run, and absolutely tons of stuff happens, and then we get to volume 7 where they are still, oh god, nearly spoiled something then. It's an action-packed volume, there's some heart-wrenching bits, graphics are beautiful, the characters are all really well rounded, the writing is really witty and snappy, and they don't shy away from important things or like brutal storylines, and they do fit in with it, whereas I said in Low it didn't really seem like some of the things that they put in there, they seemed a bit gratuitous. They don't seem really gratuitous in this, and it is very good. Next we have Joss Whedon's Frey. I did not know this existed, which is, oh, I've got something in my eye, which just seems bonkers to me because I really love Joss Whedon, I'm obsessed with Buffy. How did I not know about this? But this is the story. It's set about 200 years in the future from when Buffy finished. Slayers have died out because there was no need for them. Well, not died out, but Slayers have stopped being called because there was no need for them. However, in Manhattan is now a crime-riddled slum that is run by a few mutant kingpins. Now Frey is called back to be a Slayer. A Watcher comes to find her, but no, a watcher doesn't come, somebody comes to find her because watchers don't really exist anymore, and she has no clue what a slayer is or what they're supposed to do. So it's about what she does with that knowledge and how she tries to help the people around her. It's a great story. I'm really sad this is a standalone. I want there to be more. Frey's character's really good. There was a couple of other characters in it that I really liked, like there's a little girl who has one arm, super cute, and she's sort of not a sidekick to Frey, but Frey looks out for her and makes sure that she's safe. Her name was Lou, and she was just so cute, and she looked up to Frey, and it's just a really nice interaction between the two of them. So I can't remember if I said, but I gave this 5 out of 5. My phone died and I had to clear a load of storage, so I can't remember what the hell I said now. But yeah, 5 out of 5, loved it. More please. Oh my god, everything's going wrong. The whole entire thing just fell off the damn table, so forgive me. The last graphic novel is I Hate Fairyland by Scotty Young, and I gave this 4 out of 5. This is a really funny, sarcastic, sassy tale about a young girl who is transported into fairyland. She is charged with having to find a key, I think it is, and when she finds the key she can get back to reality. But it doesn't work like that. They say it should take her a day at the most. I think 20 years later she's still there. She's really pissed off and she cannot find it. It's quite brutal. I don't think I was ready for how brutal this actually was. She is like a really jaded adult that has just had enough, and she thinks nothing of murdering the beings from Fairyland to get what she wants. And yeah, it is just really funny. Somebody comes along and tries to find a key as well. She doesn't like that, so she goes after them. All in all, a really funny, sarcastic, sassy romp through Fairyland, and I'm looking forward to volume 2. We are going on to the books, and the first one is Illuminated by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. You've probably seen this bouncing around BookTube. It's being talked about for quite a while namely because it's a brilliant story, but also because of the way it's written. It isn't written like a normal book. It is, I guess, mixed media. It is emails and ship logs and reports that have been written, and even private diary entries that have been written. I guess the main bit of the story is Katie and Ezra are very recently exes when the planet is attacked and they all have to escape for their lives, and something happens with the ship, but we don't know what when we're reading through this. We just see there's a lot of interaction between Katie and Ezra. They're on both, one's on a ship and one's on a planet, and they email each other back and forth, and we all know this is building up to proving that something's happened, but we don't know what. And it was just fantastic. I gave this 5 out of 5. It builds the suspense really well. Like, you know it's going somewhere, but you're not 100% sure where it's going, and when it gets there, bloody hell. It's just so good. I don't want to say any more than that because I don't want to ruin it, but I also bought Gemini as soon as I finished this because it was so good I wanted to read the next one. I don't actually have a copy of the book for this because it was a library book and it's gone back now, but it was The Empty Ones by, what was his name? Robert Brockway. It was the second in a trilogy of the, what was the trilogy called? I can't remember. I'll put it here anyway. But the first one you'll have seen in a previous wrap-up. I think it was probably March's wrap-up. It's about a punk guy called Carey, and it's set in the 70s and then in the 2000s, and they discover these monsters. And this one is after all that has happened in the 70s. He moves to the UK from New York, I think, and he discovers these empty ones that he encountered in New York, but they're more organised and they're sort of starting to colonise the UK. So he teams up with some people and they fight them, and it's just written really well. I gave this one 3 out of 5. Like I said, it was really enjoyable. I preferred the first one. but I was excited to get on and read the third one, and it's not even been released yet, so I was a bit sad about that. But Carey, as much as he's kind of a misogynistic dickhead punk from the 70s, he's not very likeable, you don't really root for him, but he's an interesting character and I enjoyed reading about him, so I'm excited to see where that goes. And the next one is Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice. I don't know where I've put the book, but I will put a thing here, I think. So I've started reading all the Vampire Chronicles from the first book to the last. I started reading it last month, and Interview with a Vampire is obviously the first. So I started reading that. I have a Goodreads group where it's just a touch point really, where we can chat about the books and see what we think about them. I'll link that down below. But I've read it in the past. I did really enjoy it. I've seen the film a lot more than I've read the book though, so my brain kept getting confused. Like, oh, this didn't happen in the film, or this didn't happen in the book, or... But overall, I really enjoyed it. Anne Rice is a good writer, and the characters of Louis and Lestat are so engaging, and you're enthralled and you want to know what happens to them and Claudia. Just absolutely wonderful, and it warms my little goth heart. Oh, I gave that 4 out of 5. Jeanette Winterson's Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. Don't know why I've never read this before. I guess it's one of those classics that everyone should read. I gave this 3 out of 5. It was enjoyable. It's about a young orphan who is adopted into a heavily religious family. I think they're Pentecostal. They live in the Midlands, and I think it's the early 80s maybe. And it's told from the perspective of the young girl and how she grows up surrounded by such overwhelming religious behaviour. It's all she's ever known. She doesn't know anything different, but also as she gets into her teens, she starts to realise that maybe her sexuality isn't what is expected of her, and it's about the interactions with her family and the people in the neighbourhood and how they all get on and what happens with that. And it's funny in places and it's upsetting in places, and it was quite good. I just don't think it was as good as I expected it to be, but maybe that's because I've always heard that this is the thing to read. But yeah, it was enjoyable, and on the back of this I've also bought Jeanette Winterson's autobiography, which I will talk about in my haul video that I will hopefully be posting soon. So that is it for me for April. Hopefully I will get more excellent books in May. I don't think I had anything below a 3 out of 5 on that one, which is a good reading month for me. Have you read any of these? If you have, what did you think of them? I will be back soon with another video. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. Big hugs. Bye!